Live. Today is Friday at 1 p.m. On the East Coast of the United States. I'm in Rockville, Maryland, and this is another session of my office hours that I've been doing every Friday. And I'm going to be consistent with it. Hopefully, more people can join and find it useful. And so far, yeah, I see Laura and Alan. Thank you for joining me. All right. So it's Friday. I know everybody's getting ready. It's the holidays. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And I'm going to actually talk about today about what I call the golden goose of my writing business. And last week, I talked about the different income streams of my writing business. And today I'm going to talk about the cash cow, if you want to call it, or the golden goose or whatever. And it is memoir ghostwriting. So last year's when I did the analysis of where my income was coming from, 90% of it was coming from memoir ghostwriting. And yes, it's my highest ticket item, but at the same time, it's one of the most rewarding things I do in my writing business. I would not trade it for anything. Each project can take between 6 months to a whole year. But the amount of growth that I personally experienced just because of doing that has been outstanding. And some of the questions that people keep asking me, and please feel free to jump in and let me know if you have any questions. I also have free resources that I am happy to share with everyone here. But Natasha, how did you get into memoir ghostwriting? Okay, so I got into memoir ghostwriting by mere chance. I never thought I would become one. I'm a trained journalist. I'm an author, and becoming a memoir ghostwriting, it might have sounded on paper like a natural progression or a natural pathway. But I never actually pursued it. It just literally landed in my inbox. So I received a DM or a message from LinkedIn from someone who works for a company called Storytellers, and it's one of the biggest memoir ghostwriting probably in the world. And they asked me if I would be interested in becoming one of their ghostwriters. And to be completely honest, I was extremely intimidated when I got that email, and I was like, can I do this? I've never done this. How can I just write a whole book for somebody else? But I decided to develop a growth mindset, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it. And I did, and I jumped in the ocean, and it's been fantastic. It's been almost 4 years now, and I've been doing it nonstop. And so the whole process for me starts when I talk with the client. Either the client comes to me through the agency that matches me with the client, or I reach out to different clients and I pursue them independently. And I can tell you a bit about how I do that. But the whole process of ghostwriting starts for me when I jump on a Zoom call with the person that I want to talk to, and I start asking questions about their life, starting from their childhood and ending to the stage that they are now in life. And usually the process is it's around 10 sessions. Each session is around 2 hours. It's done via Zoom. And before I usually try to agree on a timeline or an outline with them before we really get deep into the weeds, at least just a rough idea of, okay, first chapter is about childhood. The second chapter is about, how career, pivotal moments, etc. And then the conclusion. And what I realized is ghostwriting is not really about the skills of writing per se, but it's about your interviewing skills. It's your ability to make the person that you're talking to comfortable and making that person share some of the most maybe emotional or intimate or horroring or a traumatic experience of their lives, and they are actually sharing it with me, who at this moment is a complete stranger. um, so so your goal as a ghostwriter is to make them comfortable and try to get the best material out of them. And one of the questions that I always get asked about ghostwriting, but how do you manage to get their voice? How do you manage to write from their own voice? And that's probably one of the biggest challenges for ghostwriting. For me, it's listening to them and getting the way they talk, because everything is documented in quotes. You can categorize them into different personalities. So they might be like the joker, they might be the analytical person who wants just statistics in everything that they say. You might have someone who's the storyteller, who loves to tell stories. So the more you talk to them, the more you understand their voice and the more you understand their persona, and then you can shape the book based on their persona. And yes, it takes a lot of practice, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. And if you're actually interested, I have a free source I would like to share with you. It's about how to capture the client's persona when you're ghostwriting. And I just put it in the chat for anyone who's interested. It's completely free of charge. And I just share and me on video along with slides telling you how I can capture the client's persona. And again, the skill of interviewing is the skill that you need to sharpen if you want to get into this. Um, and again, the door is open. If you have any questions, please jump in any moment. All right. So, one thing I also like to emphasize when it comes to ghostwrite or writing somebody else's memoir is you really have to find the most pivotal moment in their life or the most significant moment in their life and start with it and start the memoir with it, and so that you can hook the readers. Never start a memoir with I was born on this day and on that day, because really nobody cares. You need something that was so pivotal in their lives that they can now define their life before or after. So, for example, I had one client whose her pivotal moment when she almost drowned, and she sort of intentionally wanted to drown herself after the tragic loss of her sister in a house fire. And then she realized that she wanted to stay alive because of her children. And so she was stuck in this ocean, and she could see her dead sister calling her from one side and then her alive children on the other side. And so she chose to stay with her children. So we started her memoir from that pivotal moment. And so that kind of set the tone for the memoir. Another scene, for example, of how you can start the memoir is I had a client who is a journalist, and she had a scoop, and then she woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning in her hotel room because she heard banging on the door, and there were members of the secret police who were pressing her to reveal her source of the story. So this kind of high stakes story is how we started the memoir, to talk about the life of the journalist and all the challenges that you face and how you have to stay ethical and have to stay true to your story and protect your source. Okay, so I mentioned that when I first got into ghostwriting, it was by chance, and then now I've been doing it for 3 years, and I haven't been happier with anything I do besides ghostwriting. For example, this morning, if you want to know about my day, I had a session from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. where it was actually the last of 10 session with a client who faced horrific medical trauma, and her book is about her medical trauma. And so today was like the last day, the last of the 10 session. We finalized it. I've already submitted the outline and the first chapter and the prologue. She approved them, and now the finished the sessions. I'm gonna go ahead and write the whole book, at least of the first draft of the whole book. So in addition to getting clients through the agency that I work with, I also reach out. So a number of my clients, I reach out to them. If you want to know the answer of how I find clients, and I usually use LinkedIn to do a cold outreach. And some of these clients is people I've been following their work for a while. They're usually media personalities, or entrepreneurs or founders. Many of them are based in the MENA region, Middle East, North Africa, especially in Dubai and Saudi Arabia, because there's a big like chunk of influencers from the Middle East who live there. And I feel, as someone who was born in the Middle East and has the background and the language as well, it's a good niche for me. And I've been mostly focused on that market. And so what I do is I send DMs, and the DMs are pretty targeted. So I know exactly what I'm gonna say, who are these people, and I make sure that they're the right fit for me. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is not cheap, but it's I've been getting good results from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and then I send my pitch. And I would like to share with you a pitch that I sent. Of course, I removed the name of the client to protect their privacy. And many times when you get into ghostwriting, you have to sign an NDA. And that's a very normal part of the process. So I'm going to share with you this free resource, in which, as you can see here, again, it's completely free. And this resource, it says the 5-minute memoir ghostwriting pitch, how I landed a 20K client with one message, which is basically what happened. It was this LinkedIn message that I sent, and eventually I signed a memoir for the project. Is I charge around 20,000 for it. And you might hear that number and you would say, oh my God, this is a really big number. Who's going to pay for this? In the scheme of things, 20K for a project that takes sometimes a whole year is not a big number, honestly. And it takes a lot of work from your side, the interviews, the back and forth, the writing, the editing, all of that. And think of it like, if you wanna live in a like not an average existence and not be below like in the poverty line, like in the US, at least where I live, a salary that's less than 100K a year puts you, at least in our area, in like the poverty zone. So in order for me not to fall into the poverty zone, 20K is very normal, especially if I try to get 5 books a year, which is actually a lot of work. So in the scheme of things, sometimes people charge 30 or 40,000 per book. I keep my prices at 20K for now. And some clients would come to me and tell me, Natasha, we love to work with you, but the price is very high. So I give them 2 options. The one is we can do payment plans, which I always do. But the other one is I downsell to book coaching. And the book coaching is, instead of me writing for them, I write with them, which is that we agree on them writing few chapters every day, every week, and then we jump on a call, a live editing call, where I edit with them their chapters, talk about their goals, give them homework, be their accountability partner, and then I promise them to finish their book in 120 days, which is part of the program. So this is one way how I structure my business, especially when it comes to memoir writing versus book writing. And so far, I mean, it has not been perfect. There are some months where I'm I have a lot of work, and other months I don't. But it's again, it's part of the process of being an entrepreneur, and I I go back and forth with that. But so far, I mean, I've tried so many things, but so far, this one, the one that actually stuck with me. This is also a link to my book coaching program as well, to see how I downscale from trying, if somebody wants a whole memoir but they can't afford it, and then they switch to the book coaching program. And so yeah, this is pretty much my process in terms of finding them, in terms of how I work with them, and then how I downscale from being a big off to a big ticket to a more affordable program. Um, what else? So this is what I've been doing. I'm looking at my note now to see if there is anything when it comes to ghostwriting. As I said before, the magic of ghostwriting is knowing how to interview. So you need to sharpen your interview skills. You also have to be very empathetic and recognize that many people are sharing their top secrets with you, and at least 99% of my clients cry in front of me, or during the Zoom call when they talk about traumatic experience. So you have to basically learn how to maneuver that and give them their space. For example, I once jumped on a 1 hour session with someone, and she was talking about her husband, the love of her life, who was facing major medical issues. She pretty much cried nonstop for 30 minutes of the 1 hour session. And I just gave her time. She would say something and then she would cry. And it was hard for both of us, but you have to realize that this is part of the process. And the more you do it, the more you become better at handling such a situation. Uh, what else? Learning, writing proposals as well is a big part of the process, and I ask that to my community on the notes on Substack: is how often are you willing to spend your time writing proposals? I have a template. I'm happy to share the template with you that I use for writing ghostwriting proposals, and it takes me around an hour to customize it. And the majority of clients want to see the proposal before they actually commit to working with you. So make sure that you have a template proposal. And of course, I have a template for contracts, and it's like certified by the state of Maryland. And I get the contract from LegalZoom. I paid for it, and that's another way. So you don't have to hire a lawyer and who can write the contract for you. There's also the NDA part, the non-disclosure agreement. You can either give them a separate one or add it to the contract. And this is something I added to the contract, because remember, many clients do not wanna make sure that you protect everything they say, because they tell you a lot of things that are off the record, and you don't have they don't want them to be in the book, but they give them to you as a reference. So in most of the stuff, it's like you sign an NDA, and some of them don't wanna reveal who the ghostwriter is for their book, which is fine. It's totally their call. Some people are pretty open to their ghostwriter, and they want to invite me to the book launch and all of that, but others want to just keep it hush hush. Um, what else can I say about memoir ghostwriting? I noticed that something that I'm not sure if you can agree with me or not, but most of the stuff that we've been seeing on social media from people who are doing it are not doing memoir ghostwriting. They're doing other type of ghostwriting, like social media ghostwriting or newsletter ghostwriting. And I personally feel that there's not a lot of info on memoir ghostwriting online. And so I've been trying to push more information, give free resources to anyone who's interested, or anyone wants to jump into that field that I am in. Um, and if you're also interested, I have a course that I recorded on ghostwriting. I am doing a Black Friday, selling it only for $50. If anyone is interested, and my paid the paid members get it for free. They get actually all of my courses for free. So if you become a paid member, you get the course for free. I can as well plug the link here. But anyway, does anyone have any question about ghostwriting, about the process, how I get clients, kind of the awkward moments in life when it comes to ghostwriting? But please let me know, and I'm gonna drop in the link for my course here. Please let me know, and I am happy to help. So, yeah. So this is my session for today. I'm gonna see if there's any questions here. Uh, what happened to it? Yeah, I see it here. So far there are no questions. I hope this was helpful. If this was helpful for you, please feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you thought was most helpful in this session, and if you think these sessions are helpful for you as a member of my community. And I would love to hear back from you. This is if anyone is interested in the course, and I'm happy to give you a Black Friday deal for it. Um, but anyways, if anyone has any questions before I close off, I am happy to answer. Um, and if you found this useful, please feel free to comment in the chat. And yeah, and for everyone who joined me today for this quick office hour, thank you for joining me. I happy Friday and happy holidays, and yep, and until we meet again, thank you very much and take care.